Hello, everyone. As you can see, this panel is about Web3, hype, reality, and roadblocks. And I'm really happy that even this early in the morning, so many of you came. So I've been working in this space till 4 years now and engaged till 2017. And people have been telling me that Web3 mass adoption is just around the corner. It must be a really long corner because I haven't seen it yet. So I think this is what we're going to talk today about. I will be asking sometimes questions to the audience, so don't be shy. Just raise your hands or say something if you want to. But first of all, I want you to introduce yourself so people know who is discussing this topic. You want to start?
Yeah. I'm David Perez. I'm the founder and CEO of Merso. We do BNPL for digital assets, mainly now for in-game assets in Web3 and tokens for tokenized real-world assets.
Okay, nice. Vivien?
My name is Vivien. I'm actually the CEO of Pepe, community lead. So Pepe is a meme coin. It shouldn't have a CEO, but according to SEC and like Binance Coinbase's requirement, we need to have a person to represent Pepe. So I'm the person. Yeah. Okay.
First thing first. Good morning. I hope everybody survived last night parties a bit. And again, I think this panel is going to be very fun, especially with layer ones, memes, and products. Speaking about adoption, that's definitely going to be fun. I'm Lucian Mincu. I'm one of the co-founders of MultiversX. MultiversX Labs. We're a tech company actually that built several products. One of the products is actually the MultiversX protocol, previously known as Elrond. And down the road, we also build several other products, which is Exportal, user-facing wallets, and also newer babies actually in the group, focusing on stablecoin and regulated fintech actually within Europe markets.
Okay, cool. Thank you. I'm Giacomo Maihofer from BTC-ECHO. Yeah, some of you know us. We're like a media company. And yeah, I want to start with the story we've been telling ourselves. Mass adoption is coming. And obviously, at least if I go into the circle of people I know, unless they're like really crypto affiliated, they're not there. So, and any one of you can answer this if they want to. Why has the promise of mass adoption taken so long, or why is it still taking so long?
Okay, if I can start, I think it's a mix of two things. One is user experience. Mm-hmm. It needs to be easier. People, they want things easy. They want to go and being able to don't even know that they have a wallet or that is as easy as a bank account or as similar as a bank account because everybody's accustomed to. And the other one is product. For example, in gaming, really, really good games, it takes 5-7 years to go to the market. We are talking that from 2021, there was invested more than or nearly 5 billion in gaming. But these games, they are not out there yet. I really believe that when the two things mix together, once that the user experience is similar to Web2 or similar to their life, to the day-to-day life, and that there are products there that they are as good as they are in Web2, they will get we will see the mass adoption.
Yeah, I think that's a good question, about mass adoption. I think taking Pepe, for example, Pepe does not really, exist only in crypto. It actually is, the most popular internet meme, right? Has been there more than 15 years, before crypto. So Pepe team, we are just pretty lucky, to have the right timing to bring Pepe on crypto, because before us and after us, there are many like Pepe NFT and Pepe Coin, Pepe related stuff. But I mean, for an IP or for any product, when we're talking about mass adoption, so from the social awareness to common consensus to strong, community building, decentralized. I think it took time. For Pepe, it took more than 15 years. It's not about just 2 years. It's a 2 years coin, but behind the culture is 15 years. It took time, yeah.
I must give the credits for Pepe, for all the dogs we have in the space, for all the beautiful animals. I think, even though I'm a technical founder and I have been building in the space for, I think, less 10 years, and I think we have reached some decent numbers, millions of users and so forth. However, if I look at the vehicle through the last 2-3 years of the amount of users that have joined this space, especially, I think, memes and meme coins, particularly frogs, dogs, all kind of beautiful animals actually have brought a large audience actually into the space. However, now going back a bit just to see what I think that is and still is a fundamental problem of the space. I think we have all promised kind of a new internet, especially layer ones coming, products coming, promising a new financial version of the internet. If I look where we stand right now in terms of technology, building products and shipping this kind of adoption or product ready toolkit for the users, I think we're finally getting ready with kind of infrastructure that is less than a second able to process any kind of interaction, that is not taking minutes or hours to interact, and it costs less of a second. Now, if we look at that, then I think 2025 and the upcoming year will set the mark for a couple of those industry players that are being able to process this kind of infrastructure. Then on top of that, if we look at fintech product a bit, again, wallets are getting safer. We have the rails actually that connects, and also the green light for most of the regulators that allows us to connect to the bank accounts, to the traditional way we live or interact with technology in traditional world. And then now looking on everything that compound, I think, and I'm generally a bullish guy, and I will put this disclaimer up front. I do believe that the killer apps are yet to come. Are finally, I think this has been compounding for 10, 15 years, and very promising years ahead, especially with those, and then with the community tools, and actually the exciting part for the users that they want to join. We'll see a different scale of Wave joining the space and interacting.
Okay, I want to direct one question to the audience, because like we're talking about usage and mass adoption. Just like, can people raise their hands that use crypto apps aside from trading and speculation? Okay, cool. 1, 2. Raise them like a lot so I can see them. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Cool. 6. Could you tell me what you use it for? Maybe you over there. Should I come over or?
I have a lot of words, I guess.
Yeah. Okay.
I'm using it for Thank you. Well, I'm using it for exploration, for example, like layer 3 and things like that. Games. Okay. Really? There are some games around. Yeah, that's basically it.
Another one? Okay, you. Show this way. Sorry.
Hello. Being up to date is one reason, and the second reason is trading. That's it?
No trading or speculation.
Okay.
What does up to date mean?
The current status, how their prices are, and something around that, news around the token or coin, everything, what's coming up new.
I meant really no trading and speculation, just like daily usage.
Yeah, I use stablecoins to pay providers in Southeast Asia, Central Africa, Latin America. I've been using tokens to mint NFTs for gaming, for games I played, stuff like that. So yeah, like also use Bitcoin back in 2015 to buy games in Steam, and I really regret it. after, because now they are the most expensive games ever. But other than that, this is what I've been using it for.
I think the everything apps are coming up. For example, the base app. I downloaded it. I'm not sure if it's already up and running, but when I can use it, I will try just to explore, just as the other guy said. Yeah.
Okay, I will cut it here. For me, that was really interesting. What do you guys think about what we just heard? Like, it was like 6 hands. Don't use it for trading. One, use it for trading. The other one was gaming, and payments, cross-border payments, basically, right? So
I'll start here. So here's the thing. Definitely, fully agree and hear you. I mean, this is bad, very bad. But on the other hand, it's also a big opportunity. And if I look, for example, what one of the products that we've been building is, okay, so we faced exactly the same path like here. So we built the first layer 1, so started in 17, said, okay, build the protocol, developers will follow. No, failed. Bring developers, build an app, then it was installed the app, build the app, users will follow. Wrong, failed. And then if I look at that and actually build on top of that, actually, it's kind of expensive to learn all these kind of mistakes, but we built the protocol, built the app, managed to onboard the first 1 million users. But then, of course, we also ask ourselves, hey, what can we offer to those users that they cannot do with their traditional app? And if I look, we're finally getting there. As I said, for example, having more efficient accounts that are yield generating. For example, I don't think there are many products in Europe, for example, that generates more than 1% of your cash account. And we're working on stuff like that where you basically generate 5%, 10% yield that you can swipe your card and then actually don't need to know that is crypto or that is stablecoin, and that's the beauty of it. I think this kind of products, when it comes to regular users, I think will change and have a very interesting approach, especially for businesses. And I'll explain in a very short reasoning why. So the typical cash that we have right today, actually you send into account, you need to wait for a settlement, usually a couple of days, and then once it comes into your account, you basically have the opportunity to maybe have a window until you need to pay your vendors to operate with that cash to generate some more yield. Now think about that with stablecoins. If we're capable to settle in 1 second or less than a second, have finality on that amount, and program that entire cycle of that money can be deposited into yield generation products, then basically you just caught 30% of a company that actually operates the finance, checks the accounts, makes the withdrawals or deposit and so forth. Now, this actually is the only opportunity that I see that we as builders, as product creators, can give more to the users. Only by actually capturing more value. Capturing more value actually means having a bigger opportunity to give something back to the users. And I think it's, again, just a very interesting approach, I think a humble approach, most likely. But curious how you guys see it.
I see it as normal that it's used for payments and games, because it's where you really get the advantage of Web3. Like being able, as you said, Lucian, in seconds to have money put anywhere in the world is incredible. And the ownership part that it gives you to games, that you are not just spending money on games, you are investing in your game and in the assets that you are buying. That they are the most useful use cases for people. So it's normal that when people use it for that.
For Pepe, because we don't literally have a product, but meme itself is a product. So, but we're trying to make it more, useful for the holders. So we collaborate with Mastercard. Actually, we were chosen to be one of the top 6 coin currently. Mastercard, can do the payment through Chainlink. It's a collaboration with Chainlink. So this is so far, I think, something very good, to for our holders, And we're thinking about doing some like Pepe payment, but maybe I think the other payment team have been developing these techniques a lot. So now we are trying to collaborate and work with different payment like Binance payment, and we are going to work with BTC, etc. To make Pepe more mass adoption. Yeah.
We should integrate Pepe into Xmoney. Xmoney is one of the companies that I'm actually working on leveraging the European infrastructure. Okay. So more than happy to.
Okay, sure. Thank you.
Okay. One last question in that regard. Just like Web3, when it started, it was like, yeah, we're going to revolutionize the internet, social media, everything, whatever you could think of, we're just going to change it, make it better, put it on the blockchain, and everything is going to be great. Now we have like 5 years later, and we talk about gaming, maybe paying with a frog. And I'm just asking you guys, what is left of the vision of Web3? Why should we really be hyped about this? Honest question.
Sure. So I'll talk maybe for 1 second where the hype cycle is. For maybe stepping back and looking, I was listening to the panel in the other room coming here actually. In US, actually, the president has I think a utility coin, to quote, I think a stable coin, 2 meme coins, and a dozen of infrastructure that is being held or owned or invested in. So just to explain a bit, sure, I mean, there are usually people that are bullish before the cycle, which I think it's kind of crazy to see the president of the United States actually leading this. But now going back to what it brings, again, if I look at the mechanics of financial industry and how inefficient is being built, has been built in almost any kind of aspect when it comes to money transfer for, again, everything that I have described, but then also something that is even more crazier, that NASDAQ for the first time has a competitor on chain. I mean, it's obvious that markets could not have actually existed for unlimited time with only 8 hours or 12 hours open to be traded. I mean, for what reason? Do servers need to rest? Just as a joke. So now if we look at that, and if we look at again at the entire stack, connectivity to the financial systems, products that are being able actually to provide superior experience. If we look at capacity of those chains that are being actually upgraded and continuously developed, I think those are the few points that I'm actually bullish about. And I think, again, regardless of the price, I think there's a kind of unfortunate state of mind that we cannot value something until we put a dollar amount on it and say, okay, now it's good enough, now it's valuable, even though it is purely the same product, just because it has a few zeros behind. People tend to switch their perception about something. Fascinating. So I'm giving the mic and actually opening the question for you.
Yeah, I think that Web3 is happening the same as normally in history has happened with all new technologies. A new technology arrives, there's a huge hype about it. Nobody really understands it, but they see all the possibilities, and there's huge hype, huge investments. Then people start realizing that, okay, it's much more difficult than it looks in the beginning. It gives a lot of opportunities, but it's just the background technology. So it goes a little bit down for some time until people that they believe in it from the beginning, start creating products, start making it easier for people to use it, and then suddenly you get it. You get mass adoption without the hype. So you slowly, it goes into your life. Suddenly you are buying NASDAQ, but you are buying it through tokenization of ETFs and things like that. You don't really know that you are using it, and suddenly everybody's using it. And I think that is what is happening now. We are in a period where it doesn't have a hype as it was in the beginning, but is slowly moving into people using it without knowing that it's using the infrastructure layer and the infrastructure technology that is behind.
Yeah, I think since we are growing gradually, I think now we are just in the experiment, more like stage of exploring everything. And we have so much, apps and layer 1, layer 2, even layer 3, and different kinds of like, when people are talking about meme coin and some of some are actually for me are not meme coins. They are basically a utility coin, but maybe with just a meme image, it's easier for them to sell the products, right? But I think it's a market that we welcome all kinds of like assets now. They are making best of their intelligence and technology behind and trying their business to grow and make success.
I'll add one more point specifically. So wondering how do you and how would you perceive in terms of adoption this kind of technology if Google has just announced their own layer 1, right? Pausing here.
They did?
Yes, they did.
Oh my
So very interesting. Like, so I think there's a kind of we need to bucket a bit the cases. So, for example, there's definitely new entrepreneurs, even like me, that have started from scratch, and it's a hurdle actually to keep the promise and deliver any kind of technology to millions of users or tens of millions. And then there's also at the other edge, if I look at the industry today, where biggest companies that have hundreds of millions of users or billions of users already, like Meta, Google, and other tech giants that are actually implementing this kind of technology. But interesting actually just to look at the angle how they look to integrate this kind of why do they try to do this. And if I look particularly to the efficiency of the markets and the efficiency that enables this kind of technology, it's a very simple math. So if I were a CEO in for example for Google, and the way I would perceive this, and pretty much for any kind of tech companies that is integrating today, is okay, how much profitability I can increase on the EBITDA markets of my company. Cool. If you bring me 5%, if on the public listed company, 5% is, I'll let you do the math, how much it would represent in the stocks and valuation. So it's a very simple math that for us, starting from scratch, we've been literally almost tired pushing this industry, and then suddenly see those kind of at the other edge, where those people actually come and use the technology, and where do they plug it in without almost giving immediately any benefit for the current industry, I would say, or at least unfortunately not for the retails that they can say, hey, why don't they pump our bags, right? Just pausing here and explaining a bit what happens behind the scenes.
You just mentioned Google, and I read there is going to be a JP Morgan coin now. Bank of America wants to do its own stable coin. Like, it looks like Walmart at some point wanted to do a coin. Like, everybody's like going for it. And like, we're talking about Web3, and it was like, no, we want to like push all of them out and build a better version of it. Now it looks like they just eat your lunch, to be honest. Is this a misperception for me? Like all the big companies, like Facebook with Libra was only stopped by the government. How do you guys feel about this? Is Web3 in the end just Web2 with JP Morgan coin?
I think that is what I said before, that Web3 is just a technology behind. Okay. So this guy is not that it's going to be Web2 or Web3. I think that at the end, all of the traditional companies, they are going to get the utility that Web3 offered them. And then it's going to be just one web. It's not going to be Web2, Web3. It's going to get whatever parts is useful for whatever company.
I think all the banks currently are, trying to figure out a way, to make their branding explore to Web3. Actually, before Pepe, I was working for Nomura. I was head of APAC DCM business, debt capital market, and before that, I worked for SocGen, a French bank, and Standard Chartered Bank. I've been in banking for more than 14 years. Before me, yeah. But when I was working with Nomura, we already have Nomura had VC, crypto VC arm, which is called Laser Digital. Yeah. So they started pretty early, compared to the other banks. They had money. They invest in a lot of like infrastructure and DeFi projects, especially in Switzerland, UK, and Singapore, Hong Kong. And there was a time, they were thinking about probably they should do a CEX back to 2022. And obviously now they are doing more like a secondary market trading and market maker, etc. So there is a lot going on. And Standard Chartered Bank, they are, thinking about to do a stable coin with the Hong Kong government. And if you are a crypto builder, you want to open a bank account in a Standard Chartered Bank, it will be way more easier than the other banks currently, what's going on. So you can see that all those, institutions, they are, I should say they are more mass adoption, right? In terms of they have a very mass base of users, but I think they cannot do alone. They need to collaborate with crypto companies, and I think most of the because there is a lot of digital heads of institutions, right? I think most of them, they just shift their roles. They used to be a person in the trading floor, maybe the CEO of trading floor, or somebody like me as a DCM banker. They probably have some like investment, experiences or whatever, and then they shift their career being in that role. But they actually, what I can see is they're, going out in these kind of events, and they want to learn from crypto. They want to work together with crypto companies. Yeah.
Very, very interesting and tricky question. So if I were to look at, again, market efficiency and reasoning, I think the current cycle defines a bit a different state, such that the reason why we did not have or we didn't deliver the products we wanted to is that we were not that intentional. And intentional means, if I look at the structure or the DNA of a Web3 company, especially coming from Ethereum, a bit more kumbaya, peace in the world and stuff like that, which I respect, and I've been growing in the Ethereum ecosystem and so forth, and compare it to the very meticulous enterprise, they have a pure goal. They have a pure goal, which is financial numbers. And if I look, for example, at JP Morgan or BlackRock, right? So they just for context, I think BlackRock owns more than, 10% of Coinbase. Coinbase owns a large amount of Circle, and there you go, actually, how the circle closed. But then if I look at why is the reason? What is the reasoning actually? Them investing in all this kind of infrastructure, and then also them going towards stablecoins, for example. So right now, stablecoins, as we know, have the pure utility as tokenized bonds or tokenized treasuries that actually allows those kind of vehicles to print digital dollar. But if there's a meme in the internet, and I encourage you to look at it, there's a stablecoin iceberg. Literally the stablecoin iceberg meme, which actually shows the tip of the iceberg, for example, which is so-called stablecoins, and then shows the depth of each of the layers, which is tokenized debt, tokenized treasuries, tokenized RWAs, tokenized like all this kind of assets that usually are actually held by those large institutions in a large amount. So BlackRock just owns, I think, more than 5 trillion. Illiquid assets, RWA illiquid assets. Now, if I would look, why are they interested to do that? Well, it's obvious. If there's a play to make those $5 trillion worth of assets liquid again and tokenized and put them in circulation, I mean, I don't need to explain much about where the value is being accrued. And this is a bit of how I see it. Like, if I want you to, every time when you're reading through the news, think about what's the intention behind. What's the history of that particular company? What's holding it in his back that you're not seeing? And actually, you'll read a lot of the intentionality and the reasoning behind more than whatever the title says on that. And I think, again, very bullish coming back to where we are today. It's still very bullish. I think this kind of infrastructure will definitely see a crazy amount of volumes, adoption, and hopefully also translate to the retail bags a bit.
Okay, I think we need to slowly come to the end. This was very interesting. I really would like to talk to you guys in 3 years here again and see where we are and what happened. But before we close, I would like each one of you to really shortly answer this one question. What will surprise us the most about Web3 if we look back 5 years from now? Like 5 years from now, we look back, what will surprise us the most?
President Trump launching his coins. I think
It was a surprise,
at least something. And then also again, very happy to be part of this kind of industry and still be alive after this market cycle to ship and have the opportunity to build with the president and ship the same spectrum of products. What opportunity to be alive.
What will really surprise me in 5 years if there is no real mass adoption of the product. Like everything is going into the right direction. The user experience is changing dramatically, and as I said before, I think the people is going to start adopting it without even knowing they are adopting the technology. Decentralizing finance is incredible. To be able to to invest or to transfer money or in a decentralized global market world is just incredible. And the best way to do it is to use the infrastructure of Web3. So I will be really surprised if in 5 years' time we haven't achieved mass adoption of it.
Yeah, I think blockchain, make TradFi panic. So they are now trying to make lots of efforts to catch up, or even trying to, take what we have and derive into another way. But I think in 5 years later, or even not necessarily, 5 years, I think 2 or 3 years, blockchain is gonna, share or capture a big portion of TradFi because it is more efficiency, and it brings a new valuation system, I should say. Although, as I said, we are still in the experiment stage of we are trying all the products and assets, but it really brings the new valuation, because when I try to sell Pepe to my previous those investors buy bonds. For example, I talked to BlackRock guys, obviously, I know they're bond guys, but they introduced me to their digital asset guys. And 2 years ago, that was very early, right? When we're talking about 2 years ago, there is not much meme. There is only Doge and Shiba, and for Pepe, they don't really understand. And for Coinbase, they don't really accept or understand meme coin listing, because they have the most restricted regulatory framework, etc. So I was trying to sell Pepe, and they asked me what is the valuation, and I say, okay, as a banker, I have been doing the financial spreadsheet modeling for 14 years, and now this is a new valuation is the new valuation is our community strong consensus and decentralized face, I should say. So I think we all the crypto builders here, we need to continue building, and we will thrill them and take over their market. I believe so. Yeah, I believe so.
Thank you for the answers, David, Vivien, Lucian. Thank you for being on the stage today. Give a round of applause to our panelists. Thank you.
Thank you.